Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be comparing some Caran D'Ache colored pencils. Now I personally own the Pablo, the Color Soft water soluble ones, whatever these ones are called, and the Luminance. Now because these are water soluble, we are not going to be comparing them, so I'm just going to throw them aside. So what we're going to do today is deep dive into comparing the Pablo and the Luminance to see which one really is the better option. So let's just dive right into it. I'm going to be showing you some swatching and blending in this sketchbook, but the first one I'm going to show you is the Pablo. So this here is its makeup. So the labeling that it has on it is the brand name, the name of it. When you turn it over, and it's hexagonal, just so you know the shape of it. It has the color name and some internal information like barcodes and things like that. But what's interesting is it does have its light fast rating on the back of it as well. Now there is something I just want to note about the makeup of this colored pencil is that the color itself on the outside doesn't match it exactly to the color that you get for the lead. And I'm going to just quickly grab this over here so you can see that the paint on the outside is just a little bit darker than the actual lead inside. On screen, I'm going to show you how the colors that I have, which is a vermilion and the salmon, draw out from dark to light while I go over some information. So the Pablos are classified as an oil and wax based lead. They are made with light fast pigments, but they have different classifications, which is why there are the stars on the actual pencils. In their color range, they come with 120 colors. Now, this lead is a dry and powder free type of lead. So as you can see while I'm drawing, there's not any like flakes or dust that are produced while I'm drawing. And the lead is harder. So it's a hard based lead and it's physically noticeable when I'm drawing. Right now, I just want to quickly show you on screen blending the two colors so you can see how you can create gradients with it by blending the two colors. Typically, I myself don't do this technique. It's something that I find requires some practice and it's not a part of my creative flow, but I did want to show you just how you can do it. And also for pricing, keep in mind I am Canadian, so the prices I am going to share with you are Canadian prices, but the Pablos are fairly artist friendly, especially for beginners and creators that use art for a tool for healing, because your price range can actually be around that $3 to $5 price range, depending on if they're on sale or what store you're buying them from. As for point, how sharp you can make it, something that I love about these Pablos is that you can make the sharpest point because the lead is very hard. So it allows you to keep that point and keep it sharp no matter how hard you press and how many lines you do before you're going to have to re-sharpen it. Alrighty, now that we've done that, let's take a closer look at the Luminance. So the Luminance here has a non-painted wooden outside exterior, and the colors and the swatch of the color is on the tip of it, and it has all that internal information that they need, so barcodes and information. But for the light fast, every single one that I own has the exact same thing because all the Luminance are all classified as permanent light fast colors. I do want to show you quickly how the outside color matches the lead. So let's now draw them out and see how well they go from dark to light while I go over some information about the Luminance. Caran D'Ache labels the Luminance as a finely ground pigments, and the pigments that they choose are based on purity and their capabilities of being resistant to UV, which is why they're their top of the line colored pencil. and your color options are less because of that. So you have 100 color options as of today. I'm not sure if they're going to be adding anything new in the future. But the lead itself is a soft lead, which results in a velvety smooth finish. And I'm not 100% sure if it's oil or wax based. I believe it is a wax based colored pencil, just because I've seen some reviews and things like that, and there's some mixed, like some people call it wax, some people call it oil, but from what I can tell from the information that I've gathered, these are wax based colors. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comment section below. Something that I find really interesting though about this brand is that the wood that they're using is FSC certified, which makes it an eco-friendly wood that they're using, and it's super lightweight. Now the cost, however, is going to range between $5 to $7 here in Canada, so the price range is going to be that little bit more expensive for it, but you are getting a different type of drawing experience with them because they are a softer lead and because of the color options that you're available. If you want your colors to be more permanent based because you want to sell your artwork, the Luminance are going to be more suited for that kind of thing. However, this is something that I don't like about my Luminance, is that you can't fit them in all of these. Like, they don't work in every sharpener, as you can see right now on the screen, where the Pablo fit in this sharpener perfectly fine. But for the Luminance, I have to use certain sharpeners. They're not equal in sizing because the pencil itself is that little bit thicker, but it does work. You just have to have more than one sharpener, which can be annoying. But I use this one here in my pencil case, and it works with all of my colored pencils. Now, the question is, because it's a soft one, will it hold that sharp point as I draw with it? And as you can see, with every line that I go, it starts to get thicker and thicker. So I am going to share a comparison. So I am going to pull up the Pablo in just a second. But as you can see, the Pablo still keeps it. It still stays thinner than the Luminance. Now that we've swatched everything out and seen how these pencils work in this format, let's switch over to actually using them in a real world situation. While I draw in real time using the Pablo and Luminance in my color palette exploration sketchbook, I want to go over some of my thoughts about these two colored pencil options and just basically share some pros, some cons, some life experiences I've experienced using them. So first, with the Pablo, a pro to them, something that I really like, is the fact that I can get some really great soft pastel colors. And I know that the vermilion that I'm using right now on screen is technically not a pastel color, but because the lead is a hard lead, you can get some great soft pastel colors without having to be extra careful about how much pressure you put down. The con to having hard lead and these Pablos is the fact that when I want to get that rich color, that vibrant vermilion red, I have to put some serious pressure down and draw hard. And as a person with chronic health problems, one of them being an issue with pain, doing that for an extended amount of time is really hard on my hands and makes the drawing experience less enjoyable, which makes me not really want to do that. However, I do like the fact that these two these Pablos, because they are very soft, it allows me the opportunity to use multiple art supplies with them. So for example, when I'm using the vermilion, when I want to layer down the really rich part of it and get some like highlights and low lights and all that kind of stuff, I will use other materials like my Caran D'Ache Neo colors, my luminance and markers and things like that. One of the pros to the luminance is the fact that it is a softer lead. So laying the colors down is so easy to do. It takes very light, like you can just brush your hand down and you'll get a rich coating of that lead onto your paper. It's something that I love about it. Con to that is the fact that you're actually going to use up this lead a lot faster than you would a harder lead. So if you don't want to spend the $7 that it costs to constantly replenish these colors, that's a con, because I will admit that buying several colored pencils for $7 and then paying for shipping or import fees depending on where you're getting them from, exchange rates if you're buying them from outside of Canada, can become a costly experience, and I'm not a huge fan of that when it comes to the luminance. What I also really love about the luminance is their coverability. So because they're a softer lead and they have really rich pigments in them, you can layer on top of other things and still see those colors quite well, especially if you're layering on top of, like, you know, lighter colors, medium ranged colors. If it's a super dark color, it might not be as visibly clear, but you can still see the marks there, which add to the whole mixed media thing that I very much enjoy. I don't think the Pablos get the attention that they deserve. I am in full agreement with several of you guys. You've written on multiple of my videos in the past where you say you love the Pablos, you have them, they're so underrated, you don't see them as often anywhere, and I agree with you guys. Like, these are great. They work amazing, and they work great on smooth paper. They work great on textured paper. They're an overall amazing colored pencil option. They're low in cost. You know, they're accessible because you can buy them in sets as well as individuals, but you don't really see them out there. The Luminance are just so popular that you don't really hear about the Pablos. But honestly, I think they're both great together. I love using them as a unit. So I layer, I blend, but I don't do like traditional blending when it comes to colored pencils. As I mentioned earlier in the video, my style of mixed media work and just the way I lay down my colors is a little bit more bold, direct versus soft and gradient like. I'm showing you on screen. I'm doing a voiceover right now because my dog was barking in the background. But I'm just talking about in this instance where when I really want that deep, rich color, when I'm using the Pablos, I'll grab my Neo colors. Like, I have no I have no problems with using multiple materials at once. But if you're not like me and you prefer to just have a small set of materials, then the Pablos might not be the one for you, just because of how much pressure you have to put down in order to get the darker, richer color. One of my subscribers brought up the topic of how they've experienced their luminance actually being scratchy when they use it on their paper. And after hearing that, I was like, that is so weird. I've never heard of that before. So I decided to do a little digging. I grabbed all of my luminances and I did scratching. I moved them around on the paper, and I myself have not encountered that. But I think it wouldn't hurt if you guys are in in an area where you can go to a store and test out your colors before you buy them. Use a scrap piece of paper, scratch it on paper, just make sure that it actually goes down buttery smooth before you purchase it. But if you're like me and you order online and something like that does happen to you, contact the store. Let them know that there's something wrong with the lead and see if there's anything that they can do to help you resolve that issue. Maybe you just need to exchange it out for one that isn't scratchy, because you never know, and it doesn't hurt to ask. Now, I am reaching the end of today's video. I do hope that this video was helpful for you guys to see the difference between the Pablo and the Luminance options. I know that the color options are very vast and different, so I can't show you all the colors, but I hope what I did today was at least helpful for you to decide which option is right for you. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. What I like to do on my channel is help people use art as a tool towards healing. If you suffer with anxiety, stress, chronic health issues, anything like that, my channel is a source to help you find art materials that you might be interested in using, doing some DIY painting ideas, and some tutorials and things like that, like how to use art as a tool towards healing. Hit the subscribe button if you are interested in using art as a tool towards healing and this video is something that you found helpful. All right, thank you so much everyone for watching this video, and until next time, stay magical.